depends on the Seminole schedule, who they're playing. A lot of this is going to be schedule based, but when you kind of think of where this team has been at for these last two seasons, the improvements that we expect them to make on the offensive line, the depth improvements we expect them to have, the third year in the system for all these guys now, for most of these guys who are returning, obviously. What do you think is a realistic record for the Seminoles to achieve? And, beyond just the record, how good do you think this team is going to be? Where do you think they're going to rank amongst the ACC?
Oh, wow. That is a very controversial question.
I'm throwing some tough ones at you today, man. I want to get the good interactions.
I think 6.5 is reasonable. I think more 7 and 5, I would say, around that area, unless something goes completely wrong.
Yeah. Well, no, and this is assuming this is all assuming, right, that the health wasn't to the level like it was last season with the offensive line. We're expecting some level of injury, but we're expecting to see at least most of these guys. So, yeah, just base it off that.
We're expecting to see some level of improvement as well. I do think the biggest improvement is going to be next season. I think that's when you're going to get the major jump that fans have been wanting to see. As far as where they're going to rank in the ACC, I don't really like that question. I'm going to say 4. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. You didn't have to put a specific number on it, but I think assuming they're going to be out of those, I think they'll be that next tier or two down of the top teams, right? They're not going to be quite at the top of the conference next season, but I think it's realistic to expect this team to at least push some of these ACC contenders a little more than they were last season. And I think in terms of
they might just come out and blow everyone's minds out.
but like I think you said, Tommy, that is more what we're expecting for 2023. I think with the Seminoles team next season, it's all about improvement. And because, we expect that improvement, that should carry over to 2023, because a lot of the guys that we're talking about, a lot of the guys that we expect to be really good for this team this year should return and should be even better by then. And then, like we saw with this recent freshman class, obviously there was that main big disappointment that we don't have to spend any time on that. But this is what, the 12th ranked class, they were top 20 by the end. I'm thinking of 2023 actually, or the next high school class. They're about 12th right now, but this is a top 20 recruiting class. A lot of, like I said, I think 2 freshman offensive linemen. They obviously brought in the 2 defensive backs who we both expect to see some of next season. And I'll just say this from me. I think in terms of a record for the Seminoles, a realistic record, 7 and 5 is the baseline realistic record. If they're 1 win above that, if they're 1 win below that, I think either way, Seminole fans shouldn't be completely happy. But I think just depending on how the team looks, if the team looks improved. Okay, it was 19. But if the team looks improved and there is that level of optimism and we see what we need to see from the offensive line next year, from this receiving core, kind of the expectations we have, they should be able to carry on that momentum into 2000.